Hey everyone, just testing if can everybody see me and hear me clearly? All right, just give me a second. Analyse? Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Hey Daria, that's very kind words of you, right? For now, it's once a week because the other live market analysis is taken over by my teammates. I will try to jump in every now and then, right? Maybe for the Fibonacci series, right? But I think Peggy is doing a really good job with the Fibonacci series. She just passed another 2 prop trading tests, right? So she's learning quite well over here, right? So I think she's in a pretty good position to guide you all to profitable trading, right? Yamilu, nice to see you. Ralph, nice to see you. Manish, Seb, right? Mrs. Ellie, nice to see y'all too, right? I had to put some eye drops in my head. No, eye drops in my head. I mean, eye drops on my eyes because I was trying. I have these 2 new lights that I bought. They're supposed to make things more even, but I realized it's so glaring on my eyes, right? It's so glaring on my eyes, right? But it makes the video and the lighting a lot nicer, right? You guys, if you guys can hear me clearly, that's great. We can begin the session today soon. Luke, nice to see you. Right, it was pretty interesting week last week. We got quite a number of really really good calls, especially a lot of the Aussie crosses. Right, and I'll be showing you guys. We'll be reviewing some of it. Right, worked out quite nicely. And what I want to encourage you guys is that if you have requests, right? If you have requests for certain instruments you want to take a look at, send it through sooner rather than send it through because I will be attending to them on a first come first serve basis. Right, so hopefully we have time to go through all the instruments today. We had a really good trading week last week, as you can tell, right? A lot of the calls went, thankfully in the correct direction, right? And hopefully this week, with all a couple of big news announcements, this week, it'll be a pretty fun time. Okay. Now, guys, yeah, pound dollar already got a request of pound dollar already. Let's begin today's session. All right, guys. Um, as usual, remember everything in this webinar is educational in nature. Nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. So please do your own due diligence before you guys trade. Okay. And for those of you who are here for the first time, this is usually our approach, right? The key news events, right? We look at we spend about 5 minutes on fundamentals. I keep things very very simple because I focus a lot more on technicals. A lot of my entries are based on technicals, right? But the important thing is that the fundamentals are the key news events to kind of watch out for. What are the big ones, right? The big interest rate announcement this week from the UK. I will be going through it. All right. We look at the analysis on the majors and some of the crosses, right? What we do is because we review what we caught last week and how it turned out this week. Not every trade will have turned out nicely, right? The majority of them did. I think this week we had about 70% hit rate, right? As we've been having over the last few weeks, right? A couple didn't turn out that nicely. I think I need to see which one didn't turn out nicely. We'll take a look at it, right? But most of them actually turn out pretty nicely. And then we look at custom requests. We attend to some of the custom requests that you guys have. All right, I see two people requesting from pound dollar. We got dollar yen. We got Aussie CAD. Okay, good stuff. All right, let's introducing your host for today, guys. For those of you who are here for the first time, who is this guy who is doing the webinar, right? All right, my name is Desmond Leong. So I run the award-winning research firm Everest Fortune Group and also the Forex Army, finalist for 2019, 2020, and 2021 for best FX and best equity research. Right. We regularly work with the major financial institutions on forecasting where the markets are heading, but we have a special partnership with IC Markets where we're bringing you guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, stuff that'll take a trading to the next level. And yeah, so you want to find me on Instagram is Comfy Desmond. Otherwise, the forexarmy.com is where I create some of my custom indicators. Okay, now let's begin today's session. All right, what are the key news events to watch out for? Where's this thing? What are the key news events to watch out for? All right, I will go through it really quickly. All right, if you have questions, let me know. As you guys have feedback, that you sometimes you're going through the slides and you want to know a little bit more, and you want to be able to review what we have done, because this is a YouTube live, so you can rewind as and when, right? So I've kind of prepared slides covering the key fundamental points for us to go through. So for the benefit of anyone who kind of might miss it out or want to review it, right? This is how it looks like, right? Few of the key things to watch out for in key events, the UK economy, right? Inflation numbers, right? And Bank of England rate decisions are the focus this week, right? What you want to kind of take note of is that economies already are anticipating a 25 basis points increase, right? And it's going to be the 13th consecutive rate hike since December. Now, when it comes to fundamentals, a lot of it is really down to like how much of it is a surprise to the market. If it's not much of a surprise, then it will not have much of an effect. So the markets are already pricing in a 90% probability, of this rate hike. So if there's a 25 basis point rate hike, the market already priced it in, right? They were expected to happen. So there won't be much of a market reaction. Okay. And the market actually forecasts another 5 to 6 more rate hikes, with 5.75%, by year end, right? So it's gonna be almost at most one or two pauses towards the end of the year. But every month, we're going for rate hikes. All right. It's unlikely to have an impact on the sterling, right? Unless they don't or they increase more, which is very, very unlikely, right? Because this is not like a 50-50 or 60-40 kind of probability, right? Oh, Nick is asking, might I know how we know the market already anticipates the rate hikes? And you can read us on the news announcement, especially on the Forex Factory, right? They actually show you if you tune into some of Caton's webinars, he does share a couple of sources. When I'll share the link with you for the fundamental masterclass. He does share a couple of sources where he finds his rate hike news. All right, I can go find it and I'll paste it here later. All right, no worries, Nick. Right. But the more key thing is that the market is likely be influenced by the BOE's statement and economic projections more than the result itself. So people will want to kind of watch the statement, read the statement, see are we hawkish or dovish, right? How many more rate hikes are we having? So that will affect the market more than just the rate hike itself. Okay. Now, a few important other things to take note of is that, with all these rate hikes, right, there's a big impact on mortgage payments and consumer spending, right? So a lot of people say, like, how does this rate hike actually translate to the economy, right? Okay, if the rates increase, the cost of borrowing increase, and people, so several prominent lenders have increased the mortgage rates, raising concerns in the housing sector. I'm sure it's not just UK, right? Yeah, thank you, new cars, right? So yeah, I've been watching. No, I'm sure not just in UK. It's like in Singapore too. We have so We're seeing, rate hikes. Last time, I locked in my interest rates at like interest rate repayment for this place at 1%. Now it's like at 4%. All right. If my lock-in rate ends, right, I will need to renew at the new interest rate at 4%. And that's almost three times what I'm paying currently. And most people, right, this actually affects them because they need to, maybe they have a fixed amount that they are spending every month, right, that they're earning every month, and because of the additional interest rates that they need to pay, right, it affects how much money they have to spend. And so this is what I write over here. There'll be a slowdown in consumer spending, right? Of course, this has prompted a more cautious stance on BOE, because it's like the interest rates increase. We're trying to bring down inflation, but as the interest rates increase, almost everyone has a house over their heads, right? And this leads to more mortgage payments. The higher mortgage payments it takes, it eats away from somewhere, right? Maybe instead of going to that restaurant, or eating out, or stuff that will power the economy, spending, Christmas, gifts, that kind of stuff, consumers need to cut down a bit, right, because of the additional interest rates. So this is how it really translates it to the day-to-day lives of people, right? So a few things that I take note. Yeah, wage growth excluding bonuses is running about 7.2%. It's a tight labor market, right? So imagine, you got inflation rising at a crazy rate, and wage is like barely keeping up, right? It has eased a bit, but currently I think it's at 8 point something. It's still above the BOE's target. They're more concerned about the core inflation, right? So the upcoming inflation numbers, are expected to are anticipated to show a slowdown, right? But the key thing that people will be watching is core inflation, right? That is right, Nick. That is absolutely right. That's 100% right. Okay, few other key news events that I want to highlight your attention to, right? RBA. Oh yeah. So if you want to find where it is, just go to Forex Factory. I think the RBA rate announcements on Wednesday, right? Where is it? Just let me find it. Okay. Is it Monday? Could be a Monday. Okay, a Tuesday. All right. Um, how do I slide it across? Yes. Thursday, we have the Swiss National Bank rate decision. If I'm not wrong, there's still it's 50 basis points, I think. Thursday we got the Swiss National Bank policy rate. Yeah, they're going to increase it up by 25 basis points. I thought it was 50 basis points, right? I'll need to check that out, right? But take note, big news events, right? And US unemployment claims, existing home sales data, usual stuff. And Friday, we got a whole bunch of flash manufacturing services PMI across Europe, the UK, and the US, right? So Friday, big news day too. Keep a lookout for it. Now, personal bias, I don't have a personal bias for it, right? Because I use a lot more of technicals, right? To get into the setups. We should be looking at this week, all right? Ahmed, nice to see you. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Mm. So where you want to go to, right? Let me just show you guys a link. IC Markets. We're going to a channel, right? And we're going to review the previous week's analysis, right? This holds us to the highest, well, I feel holds us to the highest, the word I'm looking for, right? It holds us to the highest accountability, right? I just added this in, right? A few things to look out for. I mean, I'll look at some of the stuff that we highlighted, but I wanted to highlight the key crypto view for this week, right? We were forecasting, right, Bitcoin to bounce off this first support, maybe give it a little bit of breathing space below the second support, because it's a very, very nice overlap and looking to bounce up to the first resistance. I think since then, I think Bitcoin did bounce up. So we can see that, there we go. Yeah, we can see that Bitcoin did bounce up from here, right? So we are forecasting, right? We are forecasting for this bounce to happen up to here. It has not reached its target yet, but it did bounce off this level very, very nicely. So it's a good thing that we identified the correct support level. In terms of what we expect from Bitcoin, yeah, pound yen. I'll take a look at pound yen. In terms of what we expect from Bitcoin, for the rest of the week, I would be a little bit cautious because of this descending resistance line that we're seeing over here. Wait, just let me edit my, yeah, this descending resistance line that we're seeing over here. So, price has been reacting off this level. I'll be a little bit cautious. It might just kind of be squeezed, right? It's squeezed between a descending resistance line over here and a major ascending support. So in these kind of situations, usually what is the key, some of the important indicators to look out, whether you're not sure whether you're going to break out in a bearish direction or bullish direction, right? You can actually load the indicators and load the, where is it? It's the RSI, yes, here. You load the RSI and see, is it telling you anything, right? So what I would ideally want to see, is there any divergence? Sadly, there's no divergence. I was hoping that there's bullish divergence here. If there's bullish divergence, right, then you have a little bit of confidence that this is going to break out. Otherwise, what we expect for the week is for price to continue to kind of be fluctuating here. If it breaks the first support, you play the move down. If it breaks the descending resistance, then you play the move up. It's a bit tricky for us to call it in either direction. But what I do want to highlight is that I think we are, that it is approaching a pretty nice support, right? So you can see we have price that is squeezing. We've got price that is squeezing from the top, and we've got price which is squeezing from the bottom, right? In such situations, something has to give, right? Either this ascending support or descending resistance. So we're going to have a breakout in a direction, right, for Bitcoin. We just need to be careful about which ones are playing, okay? Now, before I go anywhere else, right, the key thing that we always highlight is DXY. DXY forms a basis of a lot of our analysis. So we highlighted descending resistance, right? We forecasted price to continue to drop towards the first support, right? Since then, I think it worked out quite nicely, right? You can see price has been dropping down towards our first support, right? So we're right on the money for that. We're forecasting the reversal towards first support, and price continued to drop quite nicely. Now, the key support level on DXY is over here, this major swing low. I honestly can't find any other levels. There could be a nice projection here. 61.78, right? Even the 61% projection kind of lines up with this. Oh, sorry. The 61.8 projection kind of lines up with this like little dotted support line. Right, so it's a little bit of support area over here. It's a little bit of a support area here. We should be able to see prices kind of drop lower, but I for one will be looking out for price to kind of just maybe work its way down towards the first support level over here, right? In terms of resistance, we will tighten this resistance. So this would be our new. I actually really like this level, right? So, but this will be our. This will be our new first resistance, right? It needs to be relevant, so I put it very close. This will be our new first resistance. This will be second resistance. All right, so we kind of be looking for price to kind of slowly work its way down, right? We can see that the Ichimoku cloud, it seems to be going back in, right? It's not that relevant to us now, actually, right? So looking for price to kind of work its way down towards the first support. So overall view for DXY, is still a little bit bearish. Okay, now we had a request for pound dollar. Pound dollar. Let me take a look at this. Okay. It has broken a key level over here. Let me go on the weekly time frame. See, am I missing out anything? Okay, this tells me that it's still overall on a bigger bearish trend. Big resistance level here that has been broken. So with this level broken, right, you can see price responding very nicely to this level in the past, right? Very, very nicely to this level in the past, right? So with this level broken, we should be triggering a move up. All right, so now the question remains, how high can this go? So we start the Fibonacci retracement from the top all the way down to here. Price has seemed to be breaking the 61.8 retracement too, right? Very nice level. So nice support level that we're seeing here. I'm going to start zooming in a little bit more, testing that level. Tricky. I'm thinking for pound dollar. Sorry. For pound dollar, pound dollar, I expect the move up towards here. But first, we'll be looking for a little bit of a reversal back down here before playing the move up. All right. So that'll be more or less my view on pound dollar. Right? We are seeing a breakout. When a breakout happens, logically, what we do is we play the bullish breakout. All right. So now is a perfect opportunity for us to play that breakout. So I just need to fine tune this a bit. And now's that perfect opportunity to kind of play that breakout up towards there. In terms of the support level, if you want to put right potential stop loss levels, right, you could put it somewhere here, right, as a second support, right. You can keep things tight. You can even keep it tighter over here if you want. Yeah, but not everyone's that intense, right? So in this case, we just play the move up to first resistance over here. Okay, so this would be dotted resistance. All right. So I mean, there's still a fair bit of resistance, bearish trend. But what is nice to see is that price would probably work its way all the way up with this nice little ascending support pushing prices up, right? And we should make a push up towards first resistance. Okay. And this would be my view for pound dollar. All right, now we have requests for dollar yen. So our view on dollar yen last week, I think it was, yeah, we're calling for the rise. Oops. Yeah, we're calling for the rise on dollar yen above this support area up to the first resistance level, right? We can see how that has worked out beautifully, right? Price has bounced from the support area and it worked all its way up all the way to the resistance level that we highlighted, right? So it's right on the money. Hope you guys made some good money on this setup, right? Yeah, if we tend to be our hit rate tend to be pretty good on this well, actually, well, my usual hit rate, it's pretty good, right? So it's good that this worked out quite nicely, dollar yen. What can we expect this week? Tricky. Hmm. What can we expect this week? Not really. You could actually, yes, you can find some of the charts on icmarkets.com, right? Head over to blog, right? Yeah, but because we're posting on the blog, so it's a little bit so yeah, you go to the blog. My team and me, right? We actually update it at the start of at the start of each week, it takes a little bit longer, right? I think it comes out about roughly 8 hours from now, right? Roughly 8 hours from now. But what we usually do is we post a Monday technical outlook and review, right? And it covers all the key things that I highlighted over here, right? So it's all over here. But I think in the webinar as well, I cover it in a lot more detail on how I get each level, which I think is important, right? So it's important that you see the analysis, but also learn the analysis, right? Okay, Euro, pound yen, euro yen, right? So dollar yen, I'm thinking, huh, seems like we only got a 61.8 retracement and this pullback level. Price might make another pullback. This week it's sorry. This week it seems to be accelerating. Price seems to be accelerating quite strongly, right? Price seems to be accelerating quite strongly. So we might see a short-term reversal, very short-term reversal back to this level, right? Before it continues is move up, right? It's kind of in line with what we expect on the dollar weakness, right? USD weakness a bit, right? But we might see a short-term reversal back to first support before it takes off. In terms of the first support level, yeah, I think this first support area should just be enough for it. Yep. This would be our view on dollar yen, right? I don't think it'll drop all the way down to second support. But just for the sake of this view, yeah, it's likely to kind of do a short-term reversal. I don't think a long-term reversal, but short-term reversal to this support area, which also happens to be, I think it's the 38%, could be 38 and 50% retracement. There you go, 38 and 50% retracements are in this level. So we should be seeing a nice little drop to that level. It could also be a 23% retracement, if I'm not wrong, 23% retracement, just about there. So yeah, probably a drop back down to this first support area. Okay, yeah, that'll be the view for dollar yen. We got a request on Aussie CAD. Oh yeah, so spring fall, I guess, yes. If I only cover the majors in the blog, but for the crosses and stuff, they're not covered. For Aussie CAD, our view last week on Aussie CAD was that it has crossed the 23%, broke a descending resistance, looks a little bit like a bottomish pattern, calling for price to rise up to the next key resistance at 38%. I think it worked out. Did it work out? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it might have. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, price took off, hit our target as forecasted, right? Another good call, thankfully. So we're forecasting for price to kind of shoot up to here, hit the target. It has since happened. Shot up to here, hit the target. Very nice. Now, let me think. Hit his target. What can happen this week, right? What can happen this week? Let me think. Okay, we are on resistance. We are on resistance over here. We are on a major first resistance over here. Okay, that's without a doubt. It's on the a major first resistance. Price is testing a key. If I'm not wrong, it's a 38%. I'm gonna put 38 and 50%, right? 38% retracement, 50% retracements up there. What can happen this week? One's a bit too far. 61 projection is there. 61 and 8 projection is there. Nice confluence area over here. What can happen? What can happen, guys? Short-term reversal. Yeah, I think we can do a short-term reversal. Probably a short-term reversal, right? A bit tricky. Yeah, probably might see a short-term reversal on Aussie CAD back down to here. I'm seeing a nice little bit of confluence levels there, right? So we could see a short-term reversal back to here. In terms of how far we might our second resistance, you notice that there's a nice bunch of resistance over here. But what I always like to do is to put a hypothetical stop loss, right, just slightly further away, right? Give that setup a little bit of breathing space, a little bit of one-to-one kind of setup today. But yeah, a nice little reversal back down to the first support level. Okay, this is probably my view. Yeah, it looks like it's testing the upper limits of the Ichimoku cloud. So it might not be able, it has not successfully broke out the Ichimoku cloud yet. All right, so we might be able to see price continue to drop slightly lower. Okay. Okay, that's Aussie cat. That's Aussie cat, right? A couple of requests: pound yen, euro yen. I think I covered this kind of pound yen. Pound yen was the setup that didn't work out nicely. I thought pound yen would reverse. It did not reverse, right? So it's not working out very nicely on pound yen. Let's see how we can relook at this. I hate pound yen, man. It's like terrible to trade. Surely has to be. I'm just gonna throw up no, maybe it will end. I need a little bit more history. A little bit more history here. Oh no. Okay. Pound yen. That looks like it's making that little bit of a breakout. Ah, why are we trading pound yen, guys? Why are we trading pound yen? It's so difficult to trade. Two of the toughest things to trade. All right. Uh, hard to say. Hard for me to make a call on pound yen. All right. There's no key level for me to look out for. Maybe the level up here, right? Maybe just this big resistance level up here, right? But it's a little bit far away. Hey, Marius, nice to see you. But yeah, this pound yen level is a little bit far away. Support levels, right? I think I would highlight with a little bit of confidence that this level here could be a little bit of a support level, maybe like that, right? But hard for me to call a move on pound yen. I kind of will continue to look to buy on dips for price to rise towards this major resistance, right? But yeah, it's a bit harder to trade pound yen, right? This would be my intermediate resistance here, right? Kind of look to buy on dips, right? If price kind of like dip down a bit, then continue to just play the move up in this large bullish ascending channel and the Ichimoku cloud all supporting it. So kind of look to buy on dips for price to work its way up towards 196 level. Okay. Um, Euro yen, right? Yeah, let's look at Euro yen. So I think Euro yen worked out nicely. Did we make a call on Euro yen last week? I think Euro yen was from the week before. Yeah, Euro yen was probably from the week before. Looking at this analysis here, looks like kind of bounce up. So I kind of want up, sorry. Probably from the week before, I think. No, I don't see it from the week before. Anyway, Euro yen looks like it's bouncing up nicely. Hit its target. Okay, so let's see. Wow. I need to change the price feed to find one with a little bit more. Euro yen. Key support level over here. Key resistance level over here. It's a pretty long way to go, I think, euro yen. Man, I need to remove all these levels below, right? Pretty long way to go for euro yen. I think, just let me remove this stuff below. Euro yen, I think with this breakout happening, right? So you can see price responding to these levels very nicely in the past. With this major breakout happening over here, we have to be looking at upside towards 168. I for one and I for one am unable to find any resistance levels over here, right? There are no real resistance levels for us to really look at over there, right? So we might be seeing price kind of shoot up. I'm just trying to find if there's any level. It's breaking the 78, right? And I believe the 100% projections up here, up all the way up here. Yeah, we should be seeing price kind of work its way, up. Hard to say, yeah. We should be seeing price work its way up, all the way towards the 165. It's a long-term view on euro yen. Yeah, 2015 was 2015. Yeah. Yeah, we should see it work all the way up. Euro yen very similar to pound dollar, right? I agree, and pound yen especially. I think few of the other instruments that we really kind of should be looking at. Gold, no change. Last week we highlighted gold to be testing this key support level. I will cover some of the key things that you guys always ask me about, right? So gold is still testing that key support level over here, right? So same thing, this main support level, it has not broken yet. So we cannot call the drop. This still remains the key first support level, right? That this ascending channel, this ascending trend line is not that valid anymore, right? But this remains a key first support level that we're looking at, right? For price to kind of make a push up to the first resistance level over here. Okay, it is at this major deciding point over here, right? Major deciding point. We can see price has been kind of refusing refusing to let us know which direction it's heading. But if it closes above this dotted resistance line, we should see a price kind of make a move up. I for one, something's going to happen this week, right? It's holding above a nice little Ichimoku support, right? Something's bound to happen, right? If it fails to hold, right, it might make a big drop towards the second support. Where's the second support going to be? A little bit of free fall towards this level, I would say. Yeah, a little bit of free fall towards this level here. Second support down here. Could be a nice 61. Could be a 61. Nah, maybe slightly lower, 61%. About there, right? Make a drop towards this level, right? But a lot of it really hinges on what happens these next few days. Remember, I say, in this, if it breaks here, it comes up to here, right? If it breaks here, it comes down to here. This is what we call upside confirmation, downside confirmation. If you're in between, you are not forced to take a position. You don't need to force yourself to take a position when you're in between. Sometimes it's better wait for a confirmation level before you take a trade. Kelvin, nice to see you tune in. A little bit late today, right? A little bit late today, but nice to see you tune in. Okay. Some of the key other instruments for us to take a look at. Dollar franc. We called a drop on dollar franc for price to continue dropping towards first support. As you can see over here, I think a dollar franc. Yeah, dollar franc continued to drop nicely. You can see it's starting to drop towards our first support. Good setup. I think it will continue to kind of inch down towards there. This would probably be my second resistance now, right? And I will now fine tune this to be my first resistance. So dollar franc, hope you guys managed to get in on the setup. Really good money to be made there with price kind of dropping. I would expect it to kind of drop further towards the first resistance. We are seeing a good bit of bearish trend kind of pushing prices lower. Nice Ichimoku clouds, right? So So yeah, it should continue to work its way down towards first support in line with what we expect for DXY. We're expecting DXY to kind of drop a little bit lower. Same thing for dollar franc. Maybe, for it to kind of just, recover a bit and then make a further push down towards first support, right? So I hope you guys got it on this setup. Pretty good, pretty good money to be made there. All right. Kiwi dollar, it was a very, very tight call. We're forecasting it for price to, create this, it cleared this level, rise up to the first resistance. Okay, we take a look at pound cat in a bit, right? Look at the majors first, right? So price did do that quite nicely. You can see it kind of rose up to our target. Yeah, so we are forecasting for price to rise up to its target. If you had the chance, it would have retraced and rose up again to its target. So nice bit of money that's been made over there, right? What can we expect this week on Kiwi dollar? I will review Aussie dollar in a bit. All right, no worries, guys. Nice little bit of resistance that we're seeing. Crap, a little bit hard. Still seeing a major descending resistance line kind of push, hold and keep prices slightly lower. This will be the first resistance that I'm looking out for over here now, right? This first resistance should more or less kind of be in, this first resistance should more or less be in line with what we're expecting for prices to kind of hit here and then come down lower. All right, so that'll be more or less my view on Kiwi dollar. You want to be a little bit safer, you can put it here actually. You can put the first resistance here, but the problem with first resistance here is that price needs to break the descending resistance line. So I would probably put it over here. If it breaks that level, the next key level that it can rise to, the next key level that it can rise to definitely is a second resistance level here. So keep a lookout on this setup. Okay, Kiwi dollar. Peter, yes, I am, right. I represent a lot of different brokerages, right. They know the best in the business, right? So I'm kidding. Yeah, they know who to find if they want really, really high probability calls, right? So yeah, that is correct, right? That is correct. But yeah, I would need to remove this message, right? Hope you understand, right? But yes, you're correct. Now, take note of because we're not allowed to talk about other brokers on this in the IC markets webinar. We're not allowed to talk about other brokers. Hope you understand, Peter. All right, so now Aussie dollar, right? Aussie dollar. I think we are forecasting for Aussie dollar to rise up to the second resistance, right? Touch this level and then make a reversal back down to the first support, right? Yeah, I think we are forecasting it for it to come up here and then make a reversal, right? So let's see what happened. Yeah, cool, right? It rose up to our first resistance as forecasted. So you can see, we are forecasting for price to kind of go up towards the first resistance, right? Hit the 127% Nike Fibonacci extension and then reverse. So price is right about there now, right? It kind of rose up there. It's setting up for a very nice trade, right? So this would be my 127% Fibonacci extension. This would be my big Fibonacci, 61.8 Fibonacci retracement that I'm seeing down here. Price is testing this level. I would set the outer limit of the level about here. And we should be able to see a reversal. Keeping price in terms of potential stop loss levels, right? We could be seeing a little bit of a resistance. Yeah, you could put this as a second resistance, I guess, right? And if price were to reverse, this would be the intermediate support level that we're looking at, right? And if it breaks this level, I don't want to be too ambitious. This would be 23% level. Let me just check. This would be a 23% level. So if it breaks a 23, we could a bit far. Maybe if it breaks the 23, we play the move down to the 50% this week, guys. Right. So I'll be kind of looking out for this setup. Remember, if especially if you're playing a slightly bigger reversal, if you're playing a slightly bigger reversal, here, right? What you want to look out for is that price needs to break this intermediate support level over here. Okay, it needs to break this intermediate support level to see the move kind of being triggered down to the first support. But we are looking at a nice bit of resistance here, right? So we could be seeing a reversal. Pound CAD, GBP CAD. Do I have it somewhere? GBP CAD. Okay, I don't think I made a call on pound CAD recently. Pound CAD, what can we expect on pound CAD? Well, I can tell you that pound CAD looks terrible, right? It looks terrible to trade. Okay, NASDAQ, I'll take a look at it in a bit. Pound CAD looks absolutely terrible to trade, right? It has kind of broken this nice little bit of overlap support. So, if I were to kind of forecast what's going to happen, right, it should kind of work its way up this week, or next week, towards this level. I wouldn't confidently play it beyond that level, so I'll probably play it up to this level, right? This over the next few weeks, right? This is a very key level that it has broken, right? So you can see prices really responding to this level many times in the past, right? Many times in the past, right? And it has finally broke, made a pullback. So we're gonna see kind of rise up towards the 1.7157 level. Okay, we got a request for NASDAQ. We got a request on NASDAQ. Just let me see if I can okay. We got a request on NASDAQ. Let me see. What did we forecast for NASDAQ last week? I think NASDAQ, yeah, we were saying that, yeah, probably going to work its way up towards the first and second resistance, right? Let me see if I can just I'm probably going to run a quick survey at the end of this session, right? Because I have seen some people um I have seen some people say that they are looking at maybe having a midweek review. I'm gonna send a survey through, right, later, and see if you guys want it, you let me know, right? If not, right, then we just keep it to the Monday weekly forecast. All right. But yeah, so let me just cover NASDAQ first, right? NASDAQ, oh man, yeah, it's really rose towards the second resistance. How do you even trade NASDAQ, man? Look at that. How do you even trade NASDAQ? Huh. Hmm. Let me see. Hmm. If I were to trade this, I'm not too confident about this resistance level here. I think this resistance level could slow prices down a bit, right? But it'll probably not be enough to call a reversal. It is at a 78% retracement. Could see a little bit of resistance there. A little bit hard to trade Nasdaq. Oh man, what are we expecting on US 500? Okay, nice. Breaking out very nicely. I'm going to try to draw some correlations here. Okay. If we are expecting a move up on Give me a moment. Just let me make sure I get this right for you guys. Okay, trading NASDAQ, and S&P, right? I kind of look for to buy on weakness. Okay, it looks like we might be seeing a little bit of weakness before price kind of work its way up to the first resistance over there. So that means kind of the same thing that we might expect on NASDAQ. I would kind of look for a short-term reversal first, right? We might see a reversal from here. How low can a reversal go? I usually look at the 23%. So maybe a short-term reversal towards the first support over here. If it breaks that level, a bit tricky though. Very, very tricky. This would be more or less my view. I would have a disclaimer that I'm not that confident, um, not that confident about this setup, right? Mm, a born cat. Yeah, thank you, David. Right, they're all doing amazing. Thank you. Right, dollar cat. Right, and thank you, Nick. Thank you for your kind words. All right, so did I forecast anything last week on dollar cat? I actually think we left out dollar cat last week, right? But it's on the key support level finally on dollar cat, right? I might have forecasted something on dollar cat in the other analysis, right? Um, but we are finally on the key support level over here, right? Finally on the key support level over here. Looks like price might be breaking that level. It's just about testing a level though, so I'm a little bit cautious. If it breaks this level, wow, we are in for a big drop. Looks like it might be starting to break it though. Yeah, it looks like it might be starting to break the level. Now the question is, do we call the drop or do we not call the drop? Ay, 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 ay. With a little bit of dollar weakness, so what we're looking at Aussie CAD, CAD dropping, right? Pound CAD is a long-term view, but yeah, if you're expecting Aussie CAD to drop, Kiwi CAD, yeah, if you're expecting Kiwi CAD major resistance to drop, right? That means, and dollar weakness, that means CAD strength. I think this week we could look at a really, really nice setup here. I would probably call the drop, using a little bit of correlation, right? I'd probably call the drop to the first support over here. Looking at Aussie CAD is expecting a drop, Kiwi CAD is expecting a drop, dollar index is expecting dollar weakness, right? So we could be seeing a little bit of a drop towards the first support over here, right? So it'll be a key view this week. Just give me a second. Let me fine tune it with some Fibonacci. Kind of breaking the 38%. So it breaks the 38%, it should drop to the 50%, just about there. So we keep our target slightly higher. Technically, this first support level, you can see very, very big level from the past. But the problem if I do that on the daily chart is that it's a little bit hard to see. It goes way too far back, right? But it's a very, very key level for us to look out for. Kind of play a drop towards the first support over here, right? One of the key views this week. Ruben, the majority of the analysis, because it's a weekly setup, we do it on the daily time frame, right? So it should cover our view for the week. And sometimes sometimes we can have updates throughout the week. Let me see if I can, let me just have it over here, right? Maybe market review. Okay, let me send you guys a link, right? Just to get a gauge. Um, how to send this link, right? Send service away. Okay, guys, I'm gonna send a link through to you guys. Just let me know. Here's the link, right? Please head over to there, right? Head over to there and let me know if you guys want a mid-week review or one session at the start of the week is enough, right? Don't worry, you can answer honestly, all right? Yeah, but if you want, you just let me know, okay? Then we'll see if I can tell IC Markets you want to do a mid-week review. I noticed that a lot of our trades have been working out very nicely, right? So if you want to refresh at the middle of the week, probably a Wednesday, right? On where else the markets might be heading, and how to position itself for the week. Uh, um, Key thing, you probably will not be at the same time today, right? It'll probably be more towards like, I don't know, 5:30 p.m. Singapore time, something like that. All right. Um, Mr. My Freedom Blueprint has a good question. Do you still learn and refine your techniques? I keep a lookout on it, right? So I believe the scary thing about the markets is that there are a lot of people teaching the wrong stuff, right? So I actually spend more time trying to filter out wrong approaches to trading, right? So I take a very critical view, right, on analysis. But whenever I see analysis, I look at it with an open mind, right? Can I learn anything from this, right? I mean, my hit rate, as you guys have been following me every single week. You know, you can confidently say, I think I am probably the only analyst out there, which actually reviews every single setup that we caught from the week before, right? I think we had a couple more that also worked out very nicely. I think it was probably Cat Frank, like Cat Frank reversing, probably. I can't remember. No, maybe Cat Frank didn't really move. I can't really tell, right? Yeah, Cat Frank was reversing quite nicely. Yeah, so I hold myself to a very high degree of accountability, making sure that we review what we call, because you guys are tuning in, week out. We make money together, we lose money together, right? So yeah, it's the approach I kind of take to a fund analysis, right? If can find ways to improve it, I will try. But um, so far I haven't really found anything else recently that convinces me. Maybe fair value money gap, but fair value gaps and stuff like that. But that is kind of like support and demand in a interpreted in a different way. A little bit more towards like market structures and manipulation. Could have some interest in there. Yeah, but I'm always on the lookout to try to improve it, right? Um, but yeah, what I teach you guys, right? The approach that you see me analyze everything today. So that's also one of the reasons why when we load an analysis, I always share it with you guys that okay, this is exactly how I arrive at it, right? So it's not some magic black box that I use. A lot of what I use is finding key structural levels, but Fibonacci, right? And of course, correlation. You cannot look at the market. You can't look at a single instrument in the market and try to trade it. Okay, that is like that's like trading with blinds on. All right, you don't know what the market is actually telling you. You really need to trade. What's the word for it? You need to look at correlation, right? What I mean by that is exactly like this. When I'm looking at dollar CAD, first thing I think, what is the strength of dollar and what's the strength of CAD? Because there's dollar CAD, right? So I would then look at, okay, DXY. DXY is expecting a little bit of weakness. Okay, now what do I look at from, what about the other ones? Like EuroCAD, what do we expect on EuroCAD? Looks like there's a little bit of resistance there. What do we expect on Aussie CAD? I'm calling a reversal on Aussie CAD. What do I expect on Kiwi CAD? I'm also expecting a reversal on Kiwi CAD, right? So all those things are pointing for CAD strength, right? All of it dropping means that dollar CAD might drop. So that's how you use correlation to trade, you know. So a lot of it, people just look at it and think that maybe, right, maybe there could be a little bit of a bounce over here. So you saw that when I was looking at this chart, I was wondering whether there was going to be a bounce, right? I was saying that maybe this is a supply and kind of demand area that might bounce, right? But my view was influenced by my understanding of correlation, right? And then, you know, that gave me a little bit more confidence to call the move down, which I hope will be correct. We never always 100% be correct, but more often than not we are, right? Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, Nick put it really well. I think Nick has been following me for the longest time, right? Yeah, you know, you gotta filter out a lot of the stuff, right? I think a lot of what they teach on baby pips and forex factories, those trading gurus that you see, forex signals, a lot of them are crap, right? My honest opinion, right? If you know, you need to put in the hard work. If I cover a lot of webinars here. If you want to look at any, I recommend you to start on IC Markets. They have support and resistance masterclass. You've got Fibonacci, correlation, right? Momentum. Those are the key things that you want to look out for. Right. Thank you, Nick. So yeah, you know, guys, it's all about adding things up in your favor, right? You know how it's like, if you have you find the trend, then you find the support and resistance, then you find Fibonacci, right? Then you find if there's any like channels or trend lines, right? Then you find correlation, right? That's all about trading. Trading is about like putting things up and seeing if the odds are in your favor, right? If the odds are in your favor, you take the trade. If the odds are not in your favor, you don't take the trade, right? And how you determine whether the odds are in your favor is determined by a whole bunch of stuff. It's not just one single indicator that will tell you, wow, the odds are now in your favor because of this one indicator. No, it's a collection of indicators and analysis that tells you whether the odds are in your favor, right? Is there a breakout, right? Are you going against the trend or with the trend, right? Does it happen to be a key Fibonacci level, right? If you guys can spend some time reading about Elliott wave structures, it's also very good because Elliott wave uses a lot of Fibonacci. Although I, for one, keep an eye on Elliott wave, but I don't use it to trade. It's too confusing, right? And no, it's too paralyzing because you need to do too much correlating analysis. Okay, but thank you guys for staying throughout this webinar. If you can help me smash the like button, right? The YouTube algorithm really likes that, right? So it helps us like get this video more better discovered, right? Peter, I actually set pending orders. So like this, my pending orders on the first resistance in this case, right? So I find I never ever compromise on my entry, right, Peter? A lot of it is that if I find a level, I set a pending order there, right? Usually, if I have to go one time frame lower, I go like if it's 4 hours, to go to 1 hour, 1 hour to 15 minutes. But usually the time frame which I'm analyzing, right? Like if I'm analyzing on the 1 day time frame here, I tend to you'll notice the way where I'm analyzing. I tend to go one time frame higher just to see like, hey, did I miss any key levels? Like in this case, my take profit level is placed over here because of the big what's the word for it? Because of the big movement over here, right? So I tend to go one time frame higher to fine tune my levels and entries, but my entry itself is actually on the time frame which I'm analyzing. All right. Thank you, Yamilu. Right. All right. Thank you guys for staying throughout this entire session. I really enjoy it with you guys. See you guys next week when I tune in again. I'm gonna try to get some sleep. It's 5 a.m. here in Singapore, right? Yeah, I'll try to go get some sleep. I'll catch you guys next year. Thank you very much, Daria. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you tune in like every week. All right. Thank you, Seb. Right. Thank you, Nick. It's a great session as always. Let's hope, you know, we back the pips this week again. I swear every week is like every week's so intense. I'm always trying to see that, you know, we get most of our calls right. All right. Thank you, C Fox. Right. It's nice having you guys. Help me fill up the survey, right, that I sent, the link. I'm going to paste it one more time if you want. Let me know that if whether you guys want to meet week analysis, right? I can ping IC markets and update them if an overwhelming number of you guys want to meet week analysis. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe, trade safe. Peace out. I'll catch you guys another time. Okay. Bye bye.